Guys, we got to talk about PlayStation yet again. I know, disgusting. Don't vomit. We got to talk about PlayStation because we have been talking about the whole physical, nonsense has been going on with PlayStation. We've been talking about it. And I mean, the whole internet's talking about it at this point. The PlayStation post that announced the removal of physical media has over 115 million views, and it got community noted and ratioed. It's crazy. Anyway, so Sony ended up announcing that by 2028, they're going to end all physical production of, physical discs and whatnot. Well, apparently, it has come to our attention, and it's so funny because I said yesterday that they are going to absolutely not wait till 2028. If you think they're going to wait till 2028 before they stop, yeah, that's not going to happen. They're going to literally begin as soon as possible. As soon as possible. Sony has reportedly already has another use for its factory after announcing the end of the physical PlayStation video games. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you guys want to see more content like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join me every single day, 9 p.m. over on the main channel, where you can catch me live every single day, 9 p.m. Eastern. I hope to see every single one of you there. Now back to the main video. It's crazy, bro. Let's go into it. Let's talk about it. So apparently, the pivot appears quite sudden, barring more extraneous market factors. A new report suggests it's been coming for some time, and the main factory involved is already apparently changing direction. This comes from ORF's Salzburg, an Austrian outlet, who spoke to the head of Sony's flagship disc producing plant in Thurgau about the shifting tide in business. Apparently, some 600,000 discs come out of the facility, every single day, 50% of which are for PlayStation devices. It was once a part of a small phalanx of factories with two based in the United States, but one of those was shuttered in 2011 and the other pivoted towards the auto industry. As of 2022, it's all been based in Thurgau, according to Dietmar Tanzer, the president of Sony DADC, and as translated by The Verge. It has since been treated as the center of Sony disc operations. Now, honestly, guys, again, as I said the other day, there's no way they're waiting till 2028. You want to know why? Because flat out, they already knew this was going to happen. It's not like they thought of this yesterday and they just sprung it up on everybody. I guarantee you, Sony executives have known about this for years. They have known about this for years, to the point where I will even go one step further and say that this was their plan even at the introduction and the announcement of the PlayStation 5. I would say this has been their plan since all the way back then. There's a reason why they started to offer digital-only consoles and separating the physical disc. There's a reason, and that reason is because they wanted to get to this point by the end of the PlayStation 5 lifecycle. The PlayStation 5 solely existed to transition players from physical video games to digital-only video games. That was the entire purpose of this generation of consoles. And it's not even just PlayStation either, because the Xbox is doing it also. Xbox is doing it also. This was their plan from the beginning of this particular life cycle of consoles, right? But since from 2028 onwards, those 300,000 pieces of circular plastics won't be going to PlayStation-related systems. The focus will apparently be on making micro lenses, a practice that began coming in towards the end of 2024. These are made using transparent discs, and per the report, Sony recently allocated 30 million euro into the technology for manufacturing them, and there's potential to move into automotion too. It's claimed that employees are planned to be retrained extensively in the future, with plans to begin mass production of micro lenses potentially as soon as next year. Bro, what world are we living in, man? This is the biggest industry in the world. The gaming industry is the biggest industry in the world. And they're willing to fuck it all up just because they want to save a buck? Or maybe they got some sort of investment to make micro lenses. I don't really know. But how big of that? Like, how big can that investment be? It can't be bigger than what you were making on your physical video games. This is literal self-destruction for Sony. And you got to ask the question, why? Why do this? Even a lot of the shills, don't get me wrong, there are some shills that are absolutely like throating Sony right now. Whatever, it's fine. But even the shills are not happy with this. So many people are not happy with this, to the point where they're trying to expose the truth about physical versus digital with the whole Reddit thread stuff that we went over just before. That they're apparently trying to delete the Reddit threads that have the information from the Insomniac leaks from 2023, right? So they're trying to delete all this stuff, and for what? Why do all this? Alas, the choice to discontinue physical games on PlayStation consoles wasn't made in a hurry. Well, that's pretty obvious. It appears Sony's not about to give up on a state-of-the-art factory like in Thao Gao. I'm relieved to see it doesn't appear jobs are being lost on this front. Anyway, which was among my fears when hearing about the shift away from allowing us to buy discs in boxes. If you think people are not going to get fired from this, you're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. This is a small upside thus far, and the industry's been collectively voicing their concerns and disappointments. The future of game preservation and consumer rights is the medium in this danger of regressing further. At least we'll have good micro. It's funny because it is in danger. It is in danger. Like being able. Okay, let me put it this way. I get it, right? They have been transitioning away from physical media for a while. Even the video games that they give you a disc for, a lot of the times the full game is not even on that disc. You have to download the full game in order to get the game. So in a way, the physical disc just acts as like it acts as like a locker for the actual game. And then people will be like, well, most modern video games can't fit on the 100 gig disc that the PlayStation 5 has. And to that, I say, this is all by design. It's all purposeful by design. I guarantee it. You want to know why I guarantee it? I'll explain. So we already know that developers don't know how to optimize these days, okay? A lot of developers, when they make their video games, they don't know how to optimize. They don't know how to make it so that the file size is not ridiculously, insane. And I'll give you a perfect example. Recently, this just happened with Helldivers 2, okay? Helldivers 2 had a 150 gigabyte size file. Like, their file was huge, right? 150 gigs, okay? They ended up outsourcing a company to compress the game, keep the quality the same, and to reduce the file size, okay? They outsourced a company to do this because they didn't have the means to do it themselves or the skill to do it themselves. And that video game went from 155 gig download to 23 gigs. It went from 150 fucking 5 to 23. Plain and simple, they just don't want to optimize the games to fit on a disc. They want to make it so that you don't have the disc, so that they have control over the game. They want to force you to buy digitally. They want to put you in that locked-in ecosystem, and then they want to charge you a subscription to use that ecosystem. And then 10 years later, they want to say that the game is no longer going to be available, and the only way that you can play it is by utilizing PlayStation Plus as the means to be able to play it. Again, you can't trust these people. They just took away 500 movies, right? And granted, that was partially the fault of the licensor, right? Not necessarily just Sony, but they took away 500 top-tier movies, by the way. I looked at the movie list the other day. Like, there were some damn good movies. People bought those movies, and now they've lost it in their library. It's gone. It's gone. They can't get it back. They can't get their money back, and they can't get their movies back. You know who never did that? Steam. Steam never did that. I'll even raise you one example that'll probably blow your mind. I'm going to give you a little bit of Steam history, okay? So back in 2012 to 2019, Steam actually allowed you the ability to buy movies. I know, it's kind of crazy, right? Steam allowed you the ability to buy some movies, some TV shows, and all that stuff. From 2012 to 2019-ish, right? They shut it down, right? They shut it down because you can't buy movies on Steam anymore, obviously. But even though they shut it down 7 some odd years ago, at the end of the day, they are still here. The licenses have expired. Everything is done, and it's still here. You could still, look at this. You still have access. If you bought movies, You still have access. If you already purchase it, they do not take it out of your library, even if Steam takes it out of their store. Whereas with PlayStation, you don't really get that option, right? Usually. A lot of the time, this is not the first time you've heard of them taking things away. Now, again, to be fair, like I said in my last stream, I don't know if Xbox did that. I don't know if Xbox ever, like, lost their license or something and then took the content away from people. I don't know. But you can see this guy literally booting up Cinema 6 right now. Look at this. It works. It literally works. It's crazy, bro. It's actually insane. So, look at this. Wow, bro. That's amazing, man. That's amazing. Look at this. The movie literally just works. Wow. Steam needs to bring this back, man. They need to bring back movies. I'm not going to play the whole thing because I don't want to get copyright. So, anyway, the point is, this is why I keep your Postal movie you bought on Steam is gone. Why? Why is it gone? Dante says his Postal movie that he bought on Steam is gone from his library. Why? I'm curious. I'd be curious to see if anybody else that bought Postal got their video games removed. Don't know. It's not there. That's interesting. I would look into that personally because there's a lot of movies here that I know have been completely delisted and gone. Some licenses expired and people still have access to it. So I don't know. I would look into that. You have John Wick on Steam? Get out of here, really? That's cool. But anyway, listen, at the end of the day, here's what I'm trying to say. Steam's not perfect. I've already said that many times. It's not perfect. But the one thing they don't really do is take away video games or take away whatever you end up buying. Soundtracks, whatever the case may be. Can it happen? I'm sure it can once in a while, I'm sure. And it'll probably be like a fringe title for some reason that it happens with. But ultimately, it very, very rarely happens. And it's at the point where they've earned the trust of a lot of players and a lot of gamers. They've earned that trust. They earned that level of trust. I would guarantee that PlayStation removing those 500 titles from people's libraries is probably more than Steam has ever removed from people's libraries in their entire lifetime. And that was just in one shot. This is the future that's going to be in front of us. And this is why I personally, and again, you could do whatever you want. I don't care. But I've personally been collecting like old school 4K movies. Like I've been trying to grow like a really big physical media collection for movies and DVDs. And I can already hear somebody in the comments. They're like, oh, but DVDs rot. DVDs rot. It's like, bro, almost all the people that I've ever seen have rotted DVDs either bought one that was faulty, or they keep their fucking DVDs in like a high moisture environment, like a high humidity environment, and then they start to rot and shit because they don't take care of their collection, you know. But it doesn't matter. Regardless, at the end of the day, I rather have those rotting. I rather have if they did rot, I would rather have those than let PlayStation decide what they can and cannot do with what I pay for. Because at the end of the day, everything is not meant to last forever. That much I know. But I would at least have the ability to just boot that shit up without needing a subscription, without needing a certain platform to do it outside of a DVD player. Just plug it right in and have at it. That's what I'd rather do. So that's why I've been personally, again, I have DVDs that are fucking old, bro. These people don't take care of their physical media if they have rotting fucking DVDs and shit. I have DVDs that are so old, it's insane. And it still works, no problem. So I don't know what these people are talking about, but I just know that's what they're going to say. But yeah, like for me, that's what I'd rather do. So that's why, like, I'm personally sad because when physical media left the PC platform, I didn't partake in that. I was buying physical media. Anything that I could get physically, I tried to get physically. And unfortunately, it just died off on the PC platform. And now I'm watching it happen again on consoles. And I'm kind of sad for people that are going to go through that. But I try to buy physically with everything that I could possibly get my hands on, you know, which is basically, what do you call it? Which is basically like my manga, DVDs and all that stuff, you know? So I don't know, man. I don't know. But that's basically what's happening. So this has been planned from the beginning. That's all I'm saying. And ultimately, this factory and all their other factories are going to be transitioned over well before 2028. Well before 2028. So if people don't fight back in any way they can, it's already over at that point. That's what I've been trying to tell people. Like it's at this point, PlayStation has made their move. They feel like they have it in the bag, and they feel like that people aren't going to fight back, that people are just going to take it bent over, and that people might get angry now, but like 3 months later, they're going to be running back to PlayStation. Please give me my Wolverine. Please give me my GTA. You know, like they're going to run back to PlayStation. That very well may be the case. That very well may be the case. But we'll see what ends up happening, I guess.